Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Play Action Podcast, episode number 61. I am Will, and that's Colton, back on his computer grind. Colton, how's it going?
Yeah, we're back in business. It took us like 8 weeks, it feels like, to get on the laptop. But hey, here we are, and
Business
we're in
is booming.
And business is booming. Who would have thought this stupid team would be in the playoffs? But guess what? Here we are. Didn't think I'd be here. Early congratulations. People that listen will know what I'm talking about, and if they saw our social media work done by you, they would know what I'm talking about. So this is an early congratulations, tip of my hat. We'll save the rest for later. But Will, I'm excited. I saw some of the graphics that we're going to be using today.
As Josh is here,
yes,
Josh,
finally.
I got a brand new microphone. I mean, it's the same one, but listen, I shell out another $115 off of Amazon for this thing because your show broke my mic. We're back in business. Business is booming.
Business.
And there's going to be some.
Ryan, sorry, dude. We
know,
can talk plenty about Sunday. Talk plenty about
probably
Sunday.
The greatest week 18. Well, I mean, it's the only second
well,
week
the
18.
Only week 18. So
second
far,
week 18 all time, but it was one of the best endings of a regular season. I think we can say top 5 to say the least. It was absolutely bonkers. But ladies and gentlemen,
you gotta realize you got to realize how stressful that was. We'll get into it once we get into that game, but you have to realize how stressful that was as a Steeler fan.
Yeah, see how stressful it was for
sitting there
me.
Rooting for a tie. I can't say I disagree, but at the same time, they kind of deserve to be where they're at. Home, pack the bags. See you later. But yeah, everyone but Steeler fans were clearly rooting for a tie. But hey, well,
this is the Play Action Podcast.
This is the Play Action Podcast, featuring Will.
In the past 150 days, you didn't ever decide to sit down at your damn desk and be like, hey, let's game plan this playbook. Pardon my French, but goddamn, you are an idiot, Matt Nagy.
Featuring Colton.
Good job, Bill. Golly. What a dope. You missed Brady. You made a mistake. Come out and say you messed up. Golly.
Ali is right, and it's funny. We talk about both of them. I mean, Nagy, he got canned almost immediately. Well, should have been immediately. And then, well, Bill Belichick is a traditional, as I said last week, he cannot play in Southern Florida in January. For whatever reason it may be, he has the most difficult time against the Dolphins in January. The only team that gives him actual trouble is Miami.
Yeah, you can say the same thing with the Colts playing in Jacksonville. Like they
as I said, six straight, and now we're on seven straight, and it's just a shame. But let's go into all this stuff right now. So, this past Monday is Black Monday in the NFL. And for those that don't know, this is when a lot of organizations can their GMs, coaches. It's just a dark day in the NFL. It's just futures for people, families just kind of go into just a cloud. No one knows what's going to happen, especially for some people that have been bad at their job or just kind of like a very shocking one. Every year, it feels like there has been a shocking one. And let me just pull up this graphic right now. Just, looking for coaches right now, 6 teams. And really off the bat, Brian Flores, I wasn't expecting him to be canned at all. I felt like he was safe for another year. I mean, 2 back-to-back winning seasons for the Dolphins. They haven't seen that in a very long time. And now Flores is one of the best coaching candidates in the market.
Yeah, he's the best on the market. I have family that is, not family. You know what? They're family. Christina's family is, family, and, she's family and all that. And, it's very interesting to see that firing. And we've talked about it. Her family's all Dolphins fans. I said it was a mistake, and I found out Ross, the owner of the Dolphins, is a booster for Michigan. So he's not interested in taking Harbaugh away from Michigan. It might change his mind once it comes a little more official that he does want out of Michigan. I know there's been rumors. He's kind of said that he is listening to offers. So maybe if it comes official, like, yeah, I'm going to leave. The Dolphins' job is the best job out in the market that's available. It's not close. It's the best job, the best talent, and young quarterback. What you were reading is, out of all this, that they canned Flores was because he had a disagreement
between the offensive
with the GM.
coordinator. Oh,
Him and he didn't have a good relationship with Tua. He didn't have a good relationship with Tua for starters. A lot of stuff behind the scenes, like our friend Jake here. A lot of stuff behind the scenes was not well with Tua, and I forget who the GM is in Miami, but he did not like that. He did not take Justin Herbert. Joe, I appreciate that you got on YouTube so I can post your comments. Appreciate you as always. Check out Hack No Cap. But yeah, there was just disagreements with the GM and the head coach. And Chris Greer, thank you, Jake. That's not how usually teams are ran. They're ran with a little communications on both ends. And when you got your head coach pissed that you drafted the wrong quarterback that he didn't like, and you got Herbert playing as well as he is. And again, Tua is starting to figure it out. He had a really good season at the end. But you see Herbert, what he's doing, you got to sit there and think he's mumbling underneath his breath, talking about Brian Flores going into the offices and stuff like, geez, look at Herbert.
Little
Boxes
is back.
Everyone's back. See, Little Boxes. I really wish I knew who you were, but I really appreciate you. I'll try to keep it on a little quieter note, but I've talked for freaking 5 minutes. It feels like. What are your thoughts? This is the most shocking. I was shocked.
I mean, I was cutting network programming for the NFL for my job on Monday, and I got to say that was the most shocking one. I mean, I was half surprised with Mike Zimmer being fired. I mean, wasn't surprised, kind of surprised. I was like in the middle. I was like, oh, could they keep him? Could they? I mean, I could go either way. And then, Matt Nagy, Ryan Pace. I was kind of surprised with Spielman getting fired for Minnesota because he's been there for like God knows how long, like 15, 20 years. He's been there for just so long. And, I mean, I felt like the icing on the cake, too, for the Giants. Kind of hitting all corners here. The Giants, Gettleman retired. Let's put quotation marks around retire. And now, I've got to say, Aaron Rodgers bullied the Giants into firing Joe Judge because he said, if they called that QB sneak on 3rd and 9 on my 4-yard line, oh, man, heads would be spinning in Green Bay. I felt like that was the final straw. It was kind of like an Urban Meyer-esque firing. You just hear another player come out, say his words, and ultimately that was like the end of the coming there.
Yeah, I can't say I disagree. Shout out to Jordan here from Steer Nation out here on Twitter in the comments. So appreciate him and those guys there. But yeah, this is a real weird one. And
I gotta say too,
Joe Judge took a little longer than it should have to get fired.
It should have been.
I mean,
and he was asking for it.
How do you let that guy back in the locker room to look at those players after running back-to-back QB sneaks? It's nonsense. You can't look at that. Like, come on, man. Oh, gosh.
But to go with Little Box's comment here, will the Texans fire Culley? I think we might have to wait a while. I want to say probably by the end of next week, we'll maybe figure out his future. I think they could honestly go younger. I mean, he is 65. It's his first head coaching job. He's been an assistant with Baltimore for like ever. And now, he got his first gig. Although it wasn't the best, you did see a lot of shine out of like Davis Mills, and you still saw Brandon Cooks be a top 10 playmaker, top 15 playmaker in the league. And the defense had their games kind of moved in all around. I feel like this would be an end of next week thing to figure out if Coley is going to be fired. But can we talk about Jacksonville right now? According to Vegas, Bill O'Brien is the favorite to be hired by Jacksonville, and it's a very Jacksonville thing.
Are you shocked? It's a Jacksonville thing. And going back to the thoughts on the Dolphins, Bill over here in the comments on Twitter, Bill Cowher and Tom Donahue, dysfunction shows that can't work on the same page pretty much regarding what's going on with the Dolphins. That's why you saw Flores. But, yeah, this is an interesting one. The Giants and the Dolphins have the two best jobs available, in my opinion. It also depends how you view the quarterbacks, because I would also right now at the moment prefer Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields over what I've seen out of Daniel Jones, to be honest, right now. The Broncos' job is ugly. Like, the Broncos' job has
I like everything. I like 21 of the 22 positions starting for the Broncos. The only one I don't like is what's your quarterback situation. I like every single position. I think they're really set everywhere. It's just, who's your quarterback next year? Drew Lock, he didn't play the worst game Saturday night, but he didn't play the best. He didn't really have good record, like good stats to show. Teddy Bridgewater, he's a good game manager. I mean, he's just going to be bounced around here and there and all that stuff. But just, the they had somewhat of a consistency at quarterback for the Broncos, I feel like it would be just a shoo-in for them. But the Giants with 2 first-round picks, I mean, you got a lot of say in what you can do, especially with the Giants. Jacksonville, you get the number 1 pick. I mean, hey, you already got a number 1 pick in Trevor Lawrence. You could go defensively for this one. Bears don't have a first-round pick. Vikings, they got what? They have a mid-rounder, same as what the Broncos. Dolphins is weird. I think they have the 49ers, but it just depends where the 49ers end up finishing in the wild card or wherever they end up getting knocked out of the postseason. That's just the weirdest thing to me.
When I look at all the rosters, and again, looking into draft capital, because clearly New York's up there with 2 first-round draft picks. Yeah, it's again, I don't think it's close. Like, I don't want the Minnesota job. Again, Aaron Rodgers might be out, so Minnesota might be the favorite for the division. But yeah, I'm loving the comments, by the way. Will, I feel like I haven't seen it this lit up in a while. Like, we've had it lit up before, but like we can't even post them all. Like, there's so many things.
I know
there's
so much going.
I'm loving down. It. So keep dropping your comments. I'll be reading them on Twitter.
I'll be clicking them open everywhere else.
And Will be posting from Twitch, YouTube. So go check out the U Stadium YouTube and Twitch channel, and we'll get the comments actually up on here.
This is what I like. The Giants,
I love it.
The Giants need to trade Barkley. I feel like you should get as much as you can from
what are you getting? What are you getting from a guy who hasn't been productive and healthy on the field?
What's it? His 5th-year option he's going on, right?
Yeah. Again, what are you getting?
So it's $7 million. You trade him. I mean, oh man.
What are you getting? A bag of chips? Like, seriously, you're not going to get anything for him. That's the problem.
At the highest, maybe you could get like pick number 30 to 32 in the first round, but you need to have a team that actually wants him. I feel like a 2nd or a 3rd round pick might be good, but I feel like you're going to have to trade at least like a 5th or a 6th with him.
And he's getting paid a lot because this is what happens when you draft a running back 2nd overall. Like, now, good luck trading him because he's owed a lot of money. It's not like it's a 3rd round running back where you got to pay him next year, like a Le'Veon Bell situation where you got to pay him coming up. No, you're screwed. You're already paying Barkley a lot of money. So the Giants made such a mistake drafting him. It wasn't even close. Yeah. Skittles. Honestly, and not yet stale. See, I'm glad I read the rest of that hack. Like, it's not going to be worth anything. You're literally going to trade
Marshawn Lynch, the New York
6. You're going to trade a 6th-round draft pick for him. Like, honestly, you might even be lucky to get that because, like, you can't. Who's going to want to trade for that cap hit that he's going to bring along with him?
And also too, the cap hit's going from 182 to like 208, something like that. It's going up a lot, but here's the thing,
it's still not worth taking. And again, like Jake's saying, he's slowed down. He hasn't looked explosive. And again, it might be the Giants' offense, but he hasn't
offensive
been
line's
anywhere.
So weak too.
He's just been bad. Like, I don't see the burst in him like when he first came on the scene where he's blasting through the holes. He's looking back there very tentative, and it's like he's scared. I don't like him.
I feel like it's the ACL. I feel like it's the ACL. So I feel like he's just scared. I feel like he's not confident. I want to say
he's always hurt. So how can you be confident? So how can a team trade for him? The Giants are screwed with him. So unless you got to hope and pray, again, great comments. I'm loving it.
See, like we've talked about this too. Like, you could replace running backs like just anything. Just
James Conner's getting paid dirt in Arizona,
and he's having a career
and he's leading the league in rushing touchdowns. Like, it's again, he was also a good running back in Pittsburgh. He just couldn't stay on the field. So maybe Barkley needs to be rejuvenated and sent somewhere that's like in contention, whatever, or just like, hey, we want to get rid of you. You're not good, and like kind of like a spark. Like, all right, you guys all think I'm garbage. So I don't know what it is, but again, the shocker out of all this with the coaching stuff is definitely Flores. Flores is definitely the best coach on the market. Like, he literally is. And if I'm any team, I'm trying to grab him before anything else happens. Like, he's definitely the best coach for what he's done. He may not be the best socially, but he's literally the best available coach. And the Giants should do everything in their power to go get this man.
I mean, listen, I still think as we talked about this year, the Giants defense on paper was amazing. Like, everything on the paper for the Giants was good going into the year. Like, on paper, they should have been a good team, but ultimately Jason Garrett, your offensive coordinator, you ain't going to get that far. Joe Judge running quarterback sneaks with a 4th string practice squad quarterback to end the season. You just see, 25 total touchdowns scored by the Giants this entire season. Meanwhile, the Cowboys had 22 different players score a touchdown for them. So obviously the Giants can't get the ball going any single place. But wherever Flores goes, and then they need a quarterback, I think Deshaun Watson's going to be hot on their tail.
Yeah,
But do
those
the
rumors.
Giants trade away 2 top 10 picks for Deshaun Watson
I
for a guy that didn't
I
play
give one
this
year and one next year is what I'm kind of doing.
And I
But
feel
the
like he
same
would
thing
throw
is,
in a
I'm not
third at
trading
some
for him,
point.
Will, unless I figure out what's going on with him for starters.
I think they said that they were figuring out his stuff this month at some point. I want to say at the end of the
I
month is
believe
when
when I
like the
see
court
it.
cases were happening, something like that. But I mean, they want to trade him by free agency starting March 16th. That's going to be something to just keep just an eye on. But as we've talked about too, like which openings are the best?
So pull up our comment from Mr. Hackett here. This one, I don't. If you're going to give me an order on
I feel
which
like you go
the jobs I
defensively.
like,
I feel like you get a defensive guy, you get something going. I mean, Kirk Cousins he was good this year.
Yeah, but do you want a defensive guy? That's already what they had in Mike Zimmer.
I mean, they already got
See? Touche, detective. I feel like they need an offensive-minded guy to try to get Kirk Cousins, somewhat going. Again, he's been good, but every time you need him to deliver, he doesn't.
Dalvin Cook kind of ever since the Steelers game, he's just been a dud.
Yeah, he just, well, he didn't play the best, the worst rush defense in football. So, he had freight train holes to run through. You could put a train through the holes that he was running through. But, yeah, this is interesting. I don't think the Vikings job is the most attractive because, again, what are the other teams looking at here? Like, Denver is definitely the least attractive job, in my opinion, because I look at what's in the division. I don't have a quarterback yet, which is a huge problem. I look at all the other teams. I got a young defense in Miami with some young talent. I got some nice weapons offensively in Miami. I got a young quarterback. If you like Tua, that's also if you like Tua. If you don't like Tua, then that's a problem. But then you got New York with 2 first-round draft picks. You got a little draft capital to play with. You got
two top 10 picks.
Yeah, yep.
2 top 7, I think. Yeah, 2 in the top 7 for New York.
Then you have Jacksonville with Trevor Lawrence and a lot of young skill guys defensively. Miles Jack, Josh Allen.
Offensively, DJ Chark.
Yep. And then you got Chicago with Justin Fields. And again, I get the talent in Minnesota. Like they got Anthony Barr, Patrick Peterson's there, Harrison Smith, Justin Jefferson. Is Thielen a free agent this year? Or is he?
I feel like he's under contract still, but he's like 30. He's like 33. He's like older.
KJ Osborne showed some moments there. Conklin, the tight end, had some moments. So the roster's good in Minnesota.
And also, we're forgetting too Irv Smith. Irv Smith too is there, but he was out the entire year.
So, and then Denver, clearly. And then you got Justin Fields. So, like, if you're going to give me an order, best opening, again, I've already said this, Miami, New York, then Chicago or Jacksonville. Probably Jacksonville because you got the first overall pick. And, but.
I mean.
See, I've talked
I would go with Miami 1. I would go Giants 2. I mean, I still like the Vikings job. I think the Vikings have a lot of stuff going for them. I mean, if you could resign, I think Pat Pete's on a 1-year deal, but if you could resign him, he kind of capped off the season strong. I mean, he came off of IR, played his last 3 games actually good. Jacksonville clearly last. Chicago, I mean, let's see what they could do. I mean, Allen Robinson kind of dudded out. See if you could possibly resign him or just let him walk him.
You can't. You're screwed.
Just let him walk in for free agency because, you paid him $18 million to catch 500 yards receiving on 50 balls. I understand too, it wasn't the best scenarios with Nagy kind of just, driving home a Jason Garrett-esque offense. But you saw a lot of good shining pieces up in Chicago. I mean, Montgomery, you got Cole Kmet as another piece, and also that one receiver. I forgot who it was.
Darnell Mooney.
Yes, Darnell Mooney, who costed me a game against the Steelers because they forgot to cover him on Monday Night Football. But it's going to suck when Jacksonville does sign Bill O'Brien, what feels like at the end of the week. It's going to really suck.
If I'm, what's his name? I'm literally asking for a trade right away. I'm asking to get out of town if I'm Trevor Lawrence. But no, seriously, can we go back? Can we go back to a comment I saw earlier? I think it might have been Ryan. Honestly, talking about, yes, it was Ryan, about what's his name from the Raiders. I can never say his name because I don't hear it enough.
Oh, Bicasio?
Bicasio or whatever, something like that. Yeah, he deserves to keep his job. Absolutely.
I feel like the Raiders, they went through so much, and it's just so
they shouldn't be in the playoffs.
For how
this
much stuff
team,
they've
for the
gone
nonsense
through,
they've dealt with, no, this team should not be here. In the division they're in, and the schedule they've played, they should not be here. They've been blown out twice by the Chiefs, and they're somehow in the playoffs beating a Chargers team when it should have been a tie. But yeah, here we are. This team should not be in the playoffs. All the nonsense, the players getting arrested, firing, coaching, like dude, this team should not be here. This is like the carousel this team's been on. This is Jacksonville like. This team shouldn't be here.
Could Bacassia be coach of the year candidate? I mean, for how much they had to deal with to get to this spot, I feel like he should be in the running for this. This is just incredible for what they had to overcome with the whole Henry Ruggs incident. And I also saw a thing. Henry Ruggs has more receiving yards than Jalen Reagor had for the Eagles the entire year. And Ruggs only played 4 games this year. Another draft bust for Philadelphia. And, they had to go through the whole John Gruden situation with the leaked emails and kind of what's to come out from that. And then you had the cornerback who went mentally AWOL, and then you had another cornerback that, DUI, sleep behind the wheel. I think Bacassia should win coach of the year for what he had to deal with and turn around.
I think the top 2 should be him and what's his name in Philly? God, I can't believe I'm forgetting his name.
I was thinking Casario, but that's the Texans GM. Sirianni?
No, I'm forgetting. Yes, Nick Sirianni. Bro, Philly's supposed to be the dumpster fire this year, and Philly's in the playoffs.
They haven't beat a team over 500 too. Let's just also put that into.
I think Philly.
But they play really good football against those teams.
Philly has a good chance to beat what's it called? Philly has a very good chance to beat Tampa.
That's probably the team that Tampa shouldn't have wanted to face opening round.
Nope. See, this was a nice 20-minute discussion. Look at us, huh?
Hey, look at us.
Yeah, I saw this comment earlier. It wasn't like clearly they're still in the playoffs. I thought this was like a hot one because you saw rumors that Harbaugh wants to go to the Raiders possibly. So I just thought I'd bring that up because he shouldn't be fired. What he's done with the Raiders, absolutely incredible. And yeah, me and Joe have talked about this. He's been a top 10 quarterback this season, Derek Carr.
And
is
also
he top 10 overall? No. This season, absolutely. Not even a question. He's been great.
I think he was like, oh man,
he's
really
top 5
high
in passing yards.
Yeah, he was top 5 in passing yards.
He has a lot of picks though. His pick to touchdown ratio was not good, but he's also thrown a garbage. He had like 4 or 5 weeks.
He hasn't had Waller too.
Waller. Yes, so
yeah, Deshaun Jackson with Deshaun Jackson-esque things, and also Zay Jones too, kind of erupting, bringing a little boom. That's like that was fun.
I love the interaction, folks. Keep dropping questions on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter. I'll be reading them. So we've had a lot of interaction. This has kind of been a lot, and I love every second of it. I love getting the people involved. It's great. It's a great thing.
Oh my God. Let's go into just the biggest season yet, the biggest season finale yet. And week 18 lived up to its hype. It's better than any week 17 we had, any kind of ending. This week provided so much, and you just saw so much heartbreak happen between Jacksonville demolishing the Colts, just absolutely laying them out, holding them to a touchdown with only 4 minutes left to go, to Big Ben potentially could have seen his career end in his living room at 12:15 at night.
Pictures, by the way? Do you see any of the videos that were out of like Ben was on FaceTime with someone like famous and like there was no volume to it. I wish there was volume, dude. Ben put on a freaking Raiders helmet for crying out loud watching the game, and bro, Ben was freaking out. Oh, it was awesome, dude. I wish there was audio for that because I would literally pay to like get the audio from that.
What was like some of your favorite moments? Because there's so much to talk about. I mean, obviously you could go, Homer with the Steelers just kind of driving down against the Ravens. I mean, what's like some of your favorite moments from this? First, I mean, we could put first in quotation marks, like first week 18 of this new scheduling process.
Well, for me, I'm gonna go Homer. The Steelers game was incredible. I was screaming at my TV the whole time because I'm seeing the Colts. Like the Colts, it was getting to a point I'm like, they're gonna come back, and then I saw like the time left in the game, and I know they're not a quick score unless Jacksonville has a meltdown, which they very well could. It's Jacksonville.
Yeah, we've seen worse.
I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh my God! Like this game, it shouldn't be this close with the Steelers. I'm like, what are we doing? Like, because I saw during the one commercial break where they came out of the break, they showed highlights on the Jumbotron in Baltimore of the interception, one of the interceptions of Carson Wentz. And I'm like, look up, they're showing it to you. Like, there's like an actual chance you're going to get in the playoffs. Just win the game, please. And just seeing it, it was like, if Johnson catches the ball on third down to make it a little bit more realistic fourth down, it was like, oh my gosh, they could possibly kick a field goal to win it here. The weather was awful. It was like, oh God, it was going to be a 60-yarder if they didn't go for it on fourth down. It was like, you got to go for it here. What's punting do? What's a tie do where like you're either going to lose or you're going to win or have a chance of winning? And he went for it. And my God, I was crapping myself. And Steeler Nation puts a lot of hate on Ray McLeod. I'm here to clear it up. Ray freaking McLeod was catch of the season. My goodness, he had 2 huge catches in that game. Gosh, I was crap myself.
I agree with you, Hackett, on that one. That was probably the greatest pass of his entire season, and was just on that.
I hate that we're talking Jets, but talking of changing pants, I changed my pants. I feel like multiple times Sunday. But Will, your best thoughts? I mean, we just saw some of your Jets. To be fair, Zach Wilson played a lot better football down the stretch. But what was your wonderful spark of Week 18? Was it the nonsense we saw Sunday night?
Could we just witness both of the worst teams in the league? The Jacksonville wins. The Detroit played backups, but who cares? Detroit beat Green Bay, and I mentioned this. They always have a difficult time playing. Detroit always gives Green Bay a run for their money, and you see Amon-Ra St. Brown just having a great game. DeAndre Swift returning. I'm excited for Detroit football next year. I don't know about you, but like that's kind of weird to say.
I hate you. I'm more excited about the Jets with the young talent and the players that they should be getting back that were injured all season. Again, Detroit's gonna be interesting, and it's like a team you don't want to play because you're usually Detroit. Like
they give you a run for their money. They
absolutely.
I think I said Dan Quinn was a terrible hire, and I'm taking that back. I think he's the best person for this job because biting ankles and all that stuff, tearing ACLs or something like that. They really know what they're doing. Dan,
he's Detroit. He's blue collar. He fits Detroit perfectly.
And just 4:00 hour, the Rams 49ers. That game went down to the absolute wire. They came back from 17 down at half. Came back a win. The Jets, they kept up with Buffalo until the final 8 minutes, and the Jets just gave you New York Jet football falling apart and all that. Just oh my God, there was not, and then just Seattle just being Seattle, and just honestly, if they gave up that game, Arizona, we could see a playoff game in Arizona instead of LA. It would have been crazy of how the outcome of that would have been.
Don't worry, it's going to be Arizona fans in LA because there's no fan base in that. But yeah, Detroit. I know Jake's out here talking about him. Joe is. They're doing it the right way. I mean, they really are. Penny Sewell should be better next year.
I mean, he was inactive last game.
Who did they just pay? They just paid one of their linemen. Like, they just secured him. Either it was the other tackle or their center. Someone they just, locked up. So, they're doing it the right way. They just play hard, man. And that's the thing. You never saw them give up on their coach all season for being as bad as they were, quote, quote, because they should have had an early win against the Ravens. But, yeah, again, it's a solid Green Bay team. It's very
they're one of the best depth teams going into the playoffs. Personally, they have everything good going all around.
And Green Bay starters played early, and Detroit hung around. It could have been ugly early, and they didn't. They were hanging around. So
Allen Lazard too. Allen Lazard had his breakout game, but he's been having a better and better breakout game the last 3 weeks of the season. He just kind of progressively got better as. It all just went on.
Now you're up the Joe Hackett alley. I'm waiting for a comment from Mr. Hackett now about Mr. Lazard. That's a guy he wants for the Jets to go out and get in free agency. So be aware of a Joe Hackett. Chargers fans, yikes.
I got my Vincent Jackson jersey somewhere hidden over here with, my Donald Brown game used jersey over in the corner. One of the most obscure jerseys I have.
That's what I find so crazy. So you have the New York fans that are probably – some of the most passionate fan bases in the Jets and the Giants. See, there it is. See, I'm glad it took a little bit longer, but yes, he's a big Lazard fan. But you got the Jets and Giants who are very passionate fan bases, still go to the games for their dumpster fire teams. And you got 2 fantastic teams in LA, young and upcoming teams in the Chargers and the Rams. and their stadiums get and they have a brand new, beautiful stadium. Unlike MetLife, that looks like an AC unit. Shout out to my cousin Alex on. He's called it the AC unit of the NFL. But yeah, you got a beautiful stadium there in LA and just no fans. Like, it's kind of crazy. That stadium they have and the teams they have.
The Rams didn't have
stacked with former fans like of other teams.
I know, like the 49ers absolutely demolished that place. Crazy. They said they played in a away game. That's what they felt like they were playing in. Just absolutely bonkers. Called you dad.
Yeah. See, it wasn't me. It's actually my cousin. We're walking into the one game, and he goes, "The AC unit of the NFL." I'm like, "What?" I looked at him, and then I started looking at the stadium when I walked out. I'm like, "He's not wrong. This place looks like an air conditioning unit." So shout out to Alex on that one. But yeah, it's just
I mean, I would still prefer Landover, Maryland's stadium over MetLife, even though Landover's falling apart as we speak because something new just happens there every single year. Can't wait to see what happens there next year.
Yeah, place is a dumpster fire.
Well, let's look at the playoff picture. Let's look at what we get to go into now. Also, I gotta share my screen on this one because this is just absolutely bonkers, this stat. Before we talk about that, let's see. Let's just get in there. Okay. Postseason wins in NFL history. Patriots 37, Packers 36, Steelers 36, Cowboys 35, Tom Brady 34, 49ers 32, Raiders 25. Tom Brady's just so freaking good. Do you think he's the MVP this year? He was 100-ish yards off of Peyton Manning's record.
No, Aaron Rodgers. But he's definitely
at 44 years of age.
Yeah, you're gonna start seeing guys play older. But again, I'm not discrediting what he's done. Like, I don't care what anyone says. He's literally. I hate Josh so much. He's such an asshat.
We're gonna get you back on here, Josh. We're gonna as we get some coaches higher, we're gonna definitely have a debate on here.
But yeah, he's been great, and that's not taking anything away. But I just got to give it to Rodgers. Rodgers been absolutely amazing. Brady MVP. See, I didn't expect that. You're talking like, see, Josh and Joe should get along. Joe out here with the cryptid tweets like freaking Cam Newton all the time. But see, now he's going to do that. See what I started? I shouldn't talk. I shouldn't say my comments out loud because he's going to do it. And Marianne, I feel like Marianne hated us. I feel like she's been in our comments before and hated our thoughts on Green Bay.
Because we never give Green Bay number one in the power rankings. We always give them 2. We always give them 2. We gave them 6 all because they got demolished by New Orleans week 1. So we dropped them immediately.
That's right. See, we knew Green Bay was always going to be here. Well, Floor's a very good coach, by the way. But yeah, coach of the year, I feel like it's got to go to Sirianni for what? I hate Joe. This is what I started. But and Bill's out here on Twitter. Don't kid yourself. Brady's living better life through chemistry. Yeah. Again, I don't know what your thoughts. Again, I've been talking so much. Will, you got to sometimes
I know. I gotta just mute you.
You gotta do the old SpongeBob and pull me the heck out of you. What are your
I'm
thoughts?
SpongeBob. Everyone cheers for me. You're like Squidward when he sticks his hand out. They all just start booing, throwing the tomatoes. Tom Brady's just so freaking good. I mean, I felt like he was gonna fall off this year. I felt like he was. I felt like it was just in time, but he's defeating Father Time. I think it's the avocado tequila he's said he had during the parade last year. So crazy to think last year.
Tuned up last year. That was amazing.
There's honestly, coach of the year, Vrabel could get it because he's had 91 different players on that roster.
Oh, that's a good answer.
LaFleur could be on there too. As we said, Bacassi, the Raiders interim coach, he could honestly fill in for that. Sirianni. I feel like it's not good. It's going to be very close. This might be the closest coach of the year race we're going to see in a very long time. Just everything's just going like all over the place. You have so many coaches that deserve it, and you have just so many different outcomes and all that stuff just going through. There's just so much. I gotta stop sharing my screen. I gotta share the actual part on here because we didn't get to.
See, Joe, you're gonna start something with me. Let's not act like
people
Brady
act like Rodgers doesn't have
yeah.
the best WR in the league and a top 5 to 7 running back grade O line with amazing amount of depth.
Let's not stop it. He's got freaking he's got oh my god, I can't even
Adams.
speak. I'm this pissed. He's got Devontae Adams. Aaron Jones was out 4 weeks. AJ Dillon, yeah, he's got good running backs. Let's not act like Brady's out here throwing a freaking bags of chips at freaking Walmart. He's throwing to Mike Evans. He's throwing to Chris Godwin. He's throwing to
Grayson, former track athlete from LSU, just going out with 4.3 speed, just going up the sideline. He kind of erupted to conclude the season. But, and now Brady's getting back. Playoff Lenny. He's getting Giovanni Bernard. Ultimately, Richard Sherman's done for the year. Levante David's coming back from IR. Buccaneers getting healthy at the right time.
Let's not act like Brady's throwing in nobody. See, I'm tired of that nonsense. He's throwing to Mike Evans. Chris Godwin got hurt week 16. Stop it. I don't want to hear it. And you guys freaking Leonard Fournette, who is probably one of the best running backs.
Top 5 running back this year.
Yeah. So let's not act like he has nothing there. So I'm not hearing that whole thing.
It's not the 2013 Patriots with Aaron Dobson at wide receiver.
What week, Joe? What week did freaking Godwin get hurt? He got hurt like week 15 or 16. Stop it. I don't want to hear that.
Sunday Night Football against the Saints. So week 14.
He got hurt.
We were both shaking in our boots saying we want to pick New Orleans, but we didn't have the courage to pick it.
We didn't have the courage to do it.
We didn't have the courage to pick them.
But see, Jake, I haven't seen you comment in here before, but Jake, I definitely love the Vrabel talk. See, so we're going top 4 coaches this year from the Raiders. Vrabel, Sirianni, LaFleur, I think is a very reasonable top 4, to be honest with you.
I think you could put Belichick in there too, because he went from out of the playoffs.
Because he should be in there. I hate you. This team was supposed to stay. I hate you. See?
Cliff Kingsbury, could he be it? Like,
I hate you.
I feel like this might be like the comeback player of the year. They might just split this award like 7 different ways because there's too many. You can't have a legit winner because there's so many just outcomes that have happened. I think they might just do. Co-winners might just come out again for comeback player of the year, coach of the year.
That's an interesting one, actually. Coach of the year is very interesting, honestly. You can make cases for every darn coach
for 7 different coaches. You really
honestly,
could.
and if the Ravens somehow snuck in the playoffs instead of Pittsburgh, like Harbaugh has a very, very obvious resume as well, with the whole defense dying and all the running backs in the season dying.
Everyone's slowly just turning into dust and Infinity War.
That was awful. But yeah, well, enough with all the coach of the year, because that's a great segment. We could literally talk about this next week. Have a hot debate on coach.
Josh,
of the year,
if you're listening, you're coming back on next week. Coaches debate. Okay, I'm gonna make up a whole debate thing because honestly, it was probably one of the best segments the show has ever seen.
Yeah, now we have Vrabel, or Bill in here says Vrabel's the best young coach in the NFL. This is where I'm going to give credit to LaFleur. LaFleur's done really good in Green Bay. But enough with this stuff. I hate this kid. Will, please get the playoff picture.
I have to find the picture of Darnold, but it looked like Carolina aged him like 15 years, and New York didn't really age him a bit. But here's what we're looking at: the official locked-in playoff picture, going from teams that have not won a playoff game from 20 to 32 years. The Bengals and the Raiders. Raiders haven't won a playoff game since their 2002 Super Bowl run. Ever since they lost to Tampa Bay. This is their second time since that thing. And also the Bengals. There hasn't been a text message about a Bengals winning a playoff game in ages. 5 of these 6 matchups are all rematches. The only one that hasn't, but it's still a historic rivalry. 49ers Cowboys. I feel like that doesn't need to have anything else said to it. Playoff games, regular season games, the infamous T.O. on the star, almost getting knocked out, to just Deion Sanders pick sixing the Cowboys. Just there's so much stuff to look at here. Cardinals, Rams, Eagles, Tampa Bay. There's so many great games. I think this might be one of the best Super Wildcard weekends we've seen, even though it's the second time we're calling it Super Wildcard weekend. And also the Slime Cannons return. I'm excited for Dallas and 49ers. I'm going to tell you right now, Jimmy G is going to win the MVP of the game. It's just a lock-in.
Yeah, I was going to say Dallas should not be happy with their draw. Dallas.
Well, they went up a spot. They went up a spot because the Rams lost, so the Rams slid down.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
they
not
could
good
have
for
played the
Dallas.
Cardinals, and it could have been just an again with Kyler Murray being 8-0. Yes, there we go. The Nick cast. I got the Romo game. I don't have the Nickelodeon cast for this game, but I'm pretty pumped to have a Romo game.
You get to hear him pick every freaking play and not watch the game happen.
I'm so excited. I am so
But
excited.
man, you know what? I got to tell you.
Well, I want to go back to this
has.
too. I just saw this one. Has a coach.
No, go ahead.
Has a coach that's been fired ever won Coach of the Year? Flores probably one away from being it. I mean, listen, if they made if they beat Tennessee, they make the playoffs. Yeah, they were gonna be in there for sure. I felt like it would have been 8 different coaches that could have fought for it.
This has definitely been one of my favorite shows, Will. Like, we've had a lot of really good shows on here. Like, just the interaction has been amazing. I've laughed this whole time. We're already 40 minutes in, and we still have a ton to go. Like, I'm just
we still have so much to go.
I can't get like my head wrapped around all these comments. I love it. Thank you all for joining in and tuning in. This is awesome.
I missed out on one of my favorite ones. Damn it. I wanted to share this so badly. But it's just, the reason why just run a quarterback sneak. It's fitting because it's only 3 of them left on Impractical Jokers. I'm not even sure if we're running that show anymore.
That wasn't necessary to do that. See,
I know. Low-hanging fruit, low blow.
Low-hanging. See, where's Josh to correct you?
Yeah, where's Josh to call me out in the low-hanging fruit segment? Let's go. Let's go into buy, selling, and holding. I'm picking a team that's not in the playoffs, and I'm picking a team that's in the playoffs. That's how I'm going to be rolling. I don't know about you, but what's the buy? What are you buying into for?
See, I'm buying into Jake. Jake, I appreciate you joining in on your first show. Every Wednesday, man, we're out here live, 5:00. So I definitely appreciate.
We're always having a blast here.
We always are having a blast. So what am I buying? So are we just buying teams not in the playoffs?
I'm buying one that's not in the playoffs, one in the playoffs. I feel like there's places where you could kind of talk about everything, a little bit of everything.
Because go first on the buying non-playoff team.
The buying of a non-playoff team, God, I'm gonna go with Detroit, man. I feel like 2 first-round picks for the next 2 years because you got the whole Goff Stafford trade now finally going into effect. You got a lot going. You got a lot going for them, especially with now they're going to be getting healthier. The defense is going to get a lot better. I mean, they let go of Anthony Lynn, but I mean, you're going to let go of your offensive coordinator because there's nothing going right because you don't have a receiver. But Amon-Ra St. Brown kind of blew up in the last 6-7 weeks of the season. He's definitely has his part. TJ Hawkinson's going to come back next year. I feel like you're going to be able to sign a big name or 2. I say big name to second tier name for Detroit. I feel like you're getting the right pieces there. I think they're going to be going in a better direction.
Yeah, as we have our people in the comments here, Joe and Jake. I'm not gonna take the low hanging fruit. Clearly, the team you're excited about buying into is the Chargers.
I feel like the Chargers going to just give a Chargers-esque thing.
Yes, but they did it again this year. New head coach again.
It's like North Turner all over again. It's like you don't know what you're going to get out of them. I feel like next year it's going to be very questionable.
So for me, my buying of a non-playoff team, an up-and-coming team, I think, and I've said it. Give it a year or two because again, a lot of my buddies are Jets fans, including Mr. Hackett over here and you. Well, I gotta buy the Jets, man. You gotta buy the Jets because they had a lot of players that didn't play this year that were supposed to play, as in guys that they signed in the offseason. Carl Lawson.
They signed Vinny Curry. They signed Vinny Curry, but he was out due to a medical blood condition thing. Vinny Curry, got hurt on the Green Bay practice field, so I gotta get those inspected, investigated because ain't a good look for anyone there.
Yeah, Jake, I don't disagree that the Jets need to improve their defense. But again, this is a defense you didn't see without Carl Lawson all season. Will just said, again, I don't know 1,000% what the Jets did in the offseason. I know Carl Lawson was their big kind of payday in the offseason. He didn't play a down. He didn't play a snap for the Jets. So I think you got to buy into the Jets. Again, just like the other New York team, 2 top 10 draft picks. You got some talent in the defensive side of the ball. I think that's what Sal's going to address in the draft. Do they go back-to-back
Derek Stingley's going to go number 4. I think that's an obvious choice there for the Jets. They're going to go corner. But at number 10, could you go offensive weapon? Could you go defensively? I think number 10 is going to be the more intriguing pick for New York. I gotta say though, because I don't know where they're gonna be going. I think Stingley's like a Glock at 4. He's gonna go number 4 to the Jets.
Yeah, but what if one of those pass rushers is there, Hutchinson or the kid from Oregon? What if one of those guys are sitting there to team up with Carl
I
Lawson?
feel like the kid from Oregon is not gonna be there. I feel like the kid from Michigan might, but I feel like he would go like 4 at like 2 or 3. I mean, it all depends. I feel like it all depends what the other teams' needs are. I feel like that's what you have to be going into all that. Marcus May, I think he's done. I really don't see him going back to the Jets. They undervalued him. I mean, they gave him like next to nothing on a contract attempt. Apparently every team gave him like, 7 or 8 million more than what New York did. It is what it is. But
So
I mean,
last
time I was hyped over Jets drafting a corner was D Milner, and that really progressed quite nicely. The whole Darrell Revis
again,
trade.
like I said, I just got to buy the Jets. I'm not going to take the low hanging fruit in the Chargers because we thought this was their year, and they again decided to not learn how to have proper coaching. Again, shocker.
You could go back. Colton and I both said we both agreed that Herbert was our dark horse MVP. We both agreed on it mutually. He threw 5,000 passing yards this year. He had a very good year, but ultimately, a timeout kind of costed what we could have seen in the playoffs.
Yeah, again, if I wasn't such a diehard fan, I was be low-key, all right, I'd rather see the better game in Chargers, Chiefs, or whoever. However, actually, I don't think it would have fallen that way. It would have been Chargers, I think Buffalo, which would have been amazing. But, yeah, I was rooting for the Chargers to win the game so they had a better matchup, to be honest, for TV-wise, because I don't want to see the Raiders, Bengals. But, again, buying into a postseason team, I have to buy the Bengals. Sounds stupid. I'm a Steeler fan, but the Bengals are just so much fun to watch. And that sounds really awful. I'm a Steeler fan, but just the weapons offensively on the outside, the defense is getting better. And it's just fun watching Joe Burrow. He put on a show at the end of the season, him and Jamar Chase lighting up Kansas City. Thanks, Kansas City. You got to buy what the Bengals are doing. And this is a season they weren't supposed to be there. They were supposed to be like the Chargers. They were supposed to be on the doorstep kind of thing. But not here.
They were supposed to be figuring it out, and this was basically like Zach Taylor's Zach Taylor was going to get fired.
Yeah, this was kind of all right, he's going to kind of pull Dolphins, get 9 wins, 8 wins, and we need a better coach for Joe Burrow. Yeah, they're in the dance. They won the division. Shout out to the Bengals,
jungle.
But yeah, buy you Bengals. I'm buying them.
I'll buy into the Roomba in the desert there with the Raiders. Man, they really closed out that season strong. Carlson's leg, 2 wins, gets them into the postseason. As a 5 seed, they jumped up that high. A 5 seed. I'll buy into the Raiders. Selling. Oh man, I'm gonna sell off on the Dolphins. What a clown organization firing your head coach, and now he's the best prospect on the market, and he could be the first one off the market for a coaching position. He's gonna get places everywhere.
See, honestly, Bill's out here with me on Steeler Nation. Bill, I hope they do because it'd be hilarious to see the Bengals bangle themselves and get themselves out of the playoffs because it's what they do. They haven't won in 30 years.
They haven't. 1991 and 1992 was the first ever text message sent. That's how far technology has come.
Yes, you're right. I saw the meme.
It's always Buffalo, there.
See, Bill's on what I was on a long time ago on go down in the Bills. But yeah, so what am I selling here in the playoffs? See, I hate this. I'm selling on the Buccaneers. I don't think their offense is going to figure it out. I think they're in deep trouble of getting bounced here round 1. And again, it's Philly. They haven't really beaten anyone, but just, Joe wants them out, so Lazard can just be faster to the Jets. So I get it. But yeah, I got to sell off on the Bucs. I don't think they're repeating. I don't. And honestly, I'm selling 2 teams, the LA Rams. Yeah. Stafford. Welcome to meaningful football, my man, and it has not been good for you.
I'm gonna sell off on the Cardinals, man. You lose to the freaking Seahawks. I don't understand. They kind of closed out the season just duddish, honestly, for a team that was 7-0. Wait, what? 7-0, 7-1 to start the year. Just what are you doing? That was the stupidest thing. That's I'm selling off on the Cardinals. I gotta see more out of them.
See, that's what's interesting. The NFC is really open to me. I could literally see it being Buffalo and Kansas City again, doing it out to get to the Super Bowl again. This is how I think it's going to go. But yeah.
And hold.
That's a funny one there. But yeah, I can see both those NFC West teams getting bounced like very early. Like the Rams,
Absolutely.
who were my Super Bowl champs early on. Stafford. This is my only scary thought on Stafford. After I stayed with my pick, I stayed with it. I picked it early, and then we had a retalk about it, and I was like, I'm gonna stick with my gut. My gut is wrong. The Rams are not sniffing the Super Bowl. This is a team that's gonna be like one and done possible.
Also, they signed Eric Weddle out of they got Eric Weddle out of retirement.
Well, they're banged up in the back end. Taylor Rapson concussion protocol. It's just so someone else is done for the season.
It's so surprising too. Eric Weddle, retired, says more, goes back to the Rams. I mean, last time he was on the Rams, no, that wasn't. No, they didn't go to the Super Bowl with him on there. He was still on the Ravens. That was Earl Thomas. Yeah, because
I think he might have been there.
I feel like they had the 100th season on there. We saw the 100th season during the Super Bowl, like the commercial with them all fighting for the football.
I always wanted
that was the best commercial all time.
Not gonna lie to you, I really wanted Eric Weddle to be a Steward. That dude was like a really good football player. At 37 or however old he is now, and hasn't played all season, I don't think he's gonna be as productive.
I might get his jersey. I don't know. Historic.
For me, I'm gonna see. Gosh,
what's the hold?
I don't really have a hold. Like, I'd rather add another sell, which would be
Are you going to hold on the Titans because you sold off on him? You said they're a week 1 seed.
That's a good answer. I'm going to hold on the Titans, especially if they get Derrick Henry back. That's a very good job. They're not playing this week. Good job, Will. You did it for me. Holding the Titans. Very good job, Will.
I'm going to hold off on the 49ers. They clutched out the season. I think they were 4-6, and they squeaked into the postseason. They really won out the rest of the year. I'm going to hold off on the 49ers. I really like what they're doing. I mean, just Deebo Samuel, feed Deebo, best running back receiver in the league, okay? Man that could do it all.
See, I hate you. They're not a hold for me. If you're going to buy. That's a buy. Like, the 49ers are playing good football. It's kind of terrifying.
And, hold too. I'm going to hold on the Chargers because I don't know what you're going to expect from them next year. I feel like it's going to be one of those years where everyone's like, okay, they're going to the playoffs and they're just going to absolutely bust. I mean, you could come back to this video January 12th. I mean, put it in your calendar as a reminder to come back to this video, drop the link in there, and you'd be like, oh, hey, Will was right. And let's go into super wildcard predictions. Colton, do your thing. Drop the thing down below. Bam. Let me get rid of the banner here. You were going to say these guys are tied. They're tied. No, we got to go to the tape. If you follow us on our Instagram page, the Play Extra Podcast, you can find all your latest news and everything. I've been cutting up some podcast stuff, posting it on there. I dropped this, okay? We got to go back to last week's predictions at the end of the segment. I'm going to roll the tape here and this is hilarious stuff. Colton called me. He said he had a laugh, and it was just glorious. So let's go back into it.
This last game, Sunday night, could be the game that makes your guys' season go crazy.
I'm going Chargers here.
And 72. The Chargers at Vegas.
Chargers.
Will, I already know Chargers. Will filled in his picks on our Google
I'm putting in the Chargers. Colton, we're going to go down to points here. How many points are you projecting on this? Because if there's a tie, we have to get a tiebreaker on this. This is the first time we implemented the points at all this year. The total points. I'm going with 68 total points.
Will go lower, or Colton go lower. Colton go lower.
160.
Will.
1. No, I'm gonna go 40.
Will, what's the rule? Is it you just go under and you're good?
No, it's got to go closest to. I'm gonna go 49 here.
Will just won. Will literally just won. But it's gonna be 59 or 60. I'm telling you.
Well, I guess. Hold on, I'll do 52. Let's do that because if it's lower, I'm gonna win. So I'm gonna go 52 here. Because if it ends 55,
you get it.
I'll be in the money, baby. Yep. In the money, in the boat.
In the boat, baby. In the boat. We're running through.
I hate you. See, I had to give you a laugh. This is funny stuff. Hats off to you. This game was nonsense. It shouldn't have been that.
I was texting Josh. I'm like, if this game ties, I'm losing to Colton. It was 29-29. I'm like, if I lose to Colton right now, I'm gonna be so pissed off. I don't understand what's going on here anymore. And I'm like, there's 67 points. I won.
See, I didn't listen to the whole ending of that. Now I just found it even funnier. We're in the boat, baby.
We're in the boat.
I found that
as
even
as
funnier.
Colton
Hats
said a
off to you.
couple
Good
weeks
job,
ago, I
brother.
had an 8-point lead on Colton, and Colton went different on like 6 picks. He goes, either the ship's sinking or the ship's gonna be going, and the boat sunk for him on that one. Let's get into it. I made all these
funny
nice little
stuff.
graphics to.
You did a great job on these graphics. You've done a great job all season. You do a lot behind the scene. I tell you all the time how grateful I am. So again, hell of a job. Cue your hot graphic on the bottom.
Here we
Let's get
go.
into this.
4:30. I think this might be one of the best games that the 4:30 Saturday slot has produced in a very long time. The Raiders at the Bengals. These teams have not won a playoff game. Well, Raiders haven't won one since the Super Bowl run with Jerry Rice and Tim Brown. And the Bengals, no one's ever texted a Bengals playoff win. Colton, where are you heading on this one?
I'm going to go to the jungle here. I'm going to take the Bengals. If the weather is, I think what Jake said, I think Jake or someone said the weather's bad. If the weather's bad, it's going to be very interesting. But Joe Mixon's been good. It's not like Joe Mixon's been bad. So,
and he's also
I'm gonna
should
take
be
the
off
Bengals.
the COVID list. Let's see. I'm going to look up Cincinnati weather.
See,
right now it's 47, and they say it's 30 degrees going into Saturday with a low of 19.
I really hate Twitter. Like, I hate when you have this, for some odd reason, I have to approve the comment. And then after I approve the comment, I don't see the comment. So I can't say who asked it. Something about, I think it was about, someone said they're going to beat the Bengals, the Raiders beating the Bengals. I don't know who it was, but it could very well happen. Honestly, the season's been a whole.
I'll be happy with either
shoot.
team that wins because, it's been a very long time coming for both of them trying to just win a playoff game. And I think, Raiders could have had a very strong run if Derek Carr didn't break his ankle against the Colts a couple years back.
So who are you going in this game?
I'm going with the Bengals. Bayou Bengals. Now they're going to lose because it's the Bayou Bengals.
I've said it a lot, though, and they've won. Early on when I was saying it was bad karma. But, yeah, I think the Bengals win, and it's just a better watch seeing the Bengals. If they're down, have fun trying to go guard those 3 receivers. Good luck with that. So, yeah, I got to take the Bengals here.
The Patriots at Buffalo. Projected temperature kickoff, 0. The Ice Bowl has returned.
See, this has tough physical game written all
46
over it.
46 rushes again. 46 rushing attempts.
This has New England written all over it. I'm going to ride the team I've been on the wagon all season. I got to ride Buffalo here, but man, I could see them losing this game. I know they won a tough game, I think in New England or whatever, but yeah.
I'm going Patriots on this one. I'll split with you on here. This is listen, both of them had bad wins. They went into each other's homes, demolished the home team in both of them. And now it's episode 3 in this great rivalry. Let's see what Bill Belichick can do.
I think Buffalo does get it.
It kind of scared me a little bit how close the Jets were staying, but also the weather was bad when the Jets played because it was also 0 degrees when they played there.
I hate you. So, yeah, but Joe, both teams are playing in a tornado, and he still couldn't stop the run in New England. So
it was the wind to the back.
See, I just think Buffalo wins, but I'm very terrified that New England's gonna punch him in the face again. So I'm gonna take Buffalo because that's my team here after Pittsburgh gets knocked out this week. But yeah, and Bill from Steeler Nation, Bill, yeah, I've seen your negative comments of the Bengals in here. He's got the Bengals losing to the Raiders this week.
Let's go into the Sunday slate here. Eagles at Tampa Bay.
See, I'm gonna take the pick that's good. I mean, records don't matter anymore, but I'm just going to go on my gut. I think Philly wins. Sounds really stupid. I think Philly wins here. It's my pick here. Philly upsets them.
Oh my God. I didn't even start writing down your picks. Usually I do. I'm slacking here. I'm going to go Tampa Bay, but also the weather for this game, they're calling for 74 rain and very windy, 25-mile-an-hour winds, consistently.
That plays right into the face of Philly, man.
Philly loves that
Same
stuff.
time, though, Tampa has a really good rush defense. This is actually going to be an interesting game. I do think Tampa wins, but there's a gut feeling here that I think Philly wins, or at least covers a spread. I'm actually thinking I'm betting Philly covering.
I'm not allowed to bet, so.
That's right. You cannot. 1-800-GAMBLER, folks.
1-800-GAMBLER, even though I don't have a gambling problem. Just can't.
That's right.
It works.
Not anymore, you don't. Not anymore, you don't.
Oh, I missed the games of being a degenerate, but I'm going to take Tampa Bay on this one. I feel like this is the game of the playoffs. 49ers at Dallas.
49ers, dude. I'm taking another upset. Again, usually got one a weekend. For some reason, I'm thinking two. I think it's a wild,
I'm
wacky.
taking the 49ers as well.
Yeah.
Listen, the 49ers could run the ball, and Jimmy G with his broken ligament in his thumb or whatever, he passed the ball pretty damn good. I got to say, he played some of the best football he's played. And also, he's 3-1 in the playoffs. Well, he's 3-0 against NFC teams in the playoffs. Just keep that in the back of your head there. Mr. Tom Brady, too, is also 3-0 in the postseason. Sunday Night Football. Could it be Big Ben's last game, or could they honestly go in the Arrowhead and shock the world?
Do it for 7.
I'm
gonna take Kansas City by like a bazillion, but yeah, I'm not gonna be stupid. I already seen this nonsense happen. Yeah. I have to take. I love all of you. All of you know Goldberg. We do it for 7. But I don't think the Steelers can keep up with Kansas City. The Steelers played them without Travis Kelce, and they got their doors blown off. I just don't see it happening unless Najee Harris goes for like 200 yards. So yeah, good luck, and we'll see. You're in the dance. Kansas City by 1,000. No, yes, I'm not gonna be stupid here. So I'm honestly gonna take Kansas City like minus 15. So yeah,
I'm gonna match it with Casey as well because last time I picked the Steelers, bit me in the ass. Thank you, Colton. And first Monday Night Football game. I don't know how I feel about Monday Night playoff games, but here we are.
I don't like it because
Cardinals at Rams.
It's such a disadvantage for these teams.
You can honestly be playing. I mean, I think they might. They haven't. Usually, they release what days
these teams are definitely
playing.
These teams are definitely playing on Sundays. Like, there's no way they don't play on Sunday, just to give them like the short end of the stick. But yeah, I don't like this. Like, I'm cool with it. It's not my team playing. Like, if my team was like 4 and I knew they were good, just like injuries didn't allow them to get higher, I'd be pissed playing on Monday. I'd be pissed. Unless I was getting a player back. See, it's like it's good or it's bad. Like, if you're waiting on a player to come back and you get an extra day of rest, like, wonderful. If not, this really stinks for you. But, oh, God, I hate this. I'm going to take the LA Rams.
I'm matching with the Rams, but I'm going to do a bull take on this game. Cam Akers scores his first touchdown of the year.
I hate you.
I mean, he's only rushed the ball like 4 times the entire year. I think they're going to get the ground going with him. But Sony Michel's been killing it for the Rams. He's really found this place. But that's with Henderson also being out with injury. And that, ladies and gentlemen, rounds out our fantastic show. This was probably a top 3 episode all time.
Yeah, it definitely is up there for me.
I really appreciate everyone in the comments.
Like
yeah, it didn't feel like an hour. I appreciate everyone in the comments just kind of just giving their insight all over the place. I mean, I liked everyone commenting. Come back next week, okay? We're going to have the Colton versus Josh debate number 2 in the saga here. Hopefully we'll have some coaches hired and just talk everything. Man, this is going to be fun. And it's the start of the postseason, so let's have a fun postseason. Finish out the NFL season strong. But I am Will, and that's Colton, and this is the Play Action Podcast. Thank you guys. Tune in next week, 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central.